Hey, this is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Diego, California, and part of the Papercraft Collective design team. And this is for July 2025. We are going to be using the jar sets. So the Sweet Jar and the Jar of Joy, and I'm actually using both of those. So what is the Jar of Joy, you say? That is a brand new online exclusive that comes out July 1st. Let me put you down so you can see both of them. Whoop. So you can see right here both of those beautiful stamp sets. The Sweet Jar and the Jar of Joy. It's the new online exclusive. Both of these are actually online exclusives. So let's get these out of the way here so that we can play. And here is my card that we are going to make. So this is a card using a little bit of both the Jar of Joy and the Sweet Jar, and I'll try to remember to show you which one. And it was, oops, got some of these little guys trying to make their way somewhere else. And it was inspired by a card that we saw made at our latest Stampin' Up! Demonstrator gathering. All right, so first off, we have a, let me put that away, regular size card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. We're just going to fold that in half and burnish it. And then the next thing I want to show you is I cut out a large piece of balmy blue from the largest, this one, perennial postage dies. And then I'm going to run it through my stamp cut and emboss machine in the Forever Plaid, just embossing folder. It's one of our humongous ones, and it is, whoops, let me get the machine up here first. It is one of our 3D embossing folders, which means you just need the platform and that number 4 plate. So I'm going to put that on here and then try to get that straight in there. And just run that through. And always, if you're going to cut something and emboss it, remember you always want to do that cutting first. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you, when you go, if I was going to emboss this first and then cut it, then the embossing gets kind of smushed out a little bit. And then I have a piece that's just 2 by 4 1/4. And that is from the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. So let's attach that first. Now don't look at this because this is actually, this is from last year, so it has the boho blue in it that we don't even really have anymore. So I still think it works. Sure, this looks kind of straight. There we go. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. A whole bunch of dimensionals. A bazillion dimensionals. All right. So let's put that in the center here. And then let's do a little stamping. So putting that off to the side. So I got a piece of paper that's just 3 inches wide. And we've got our stamp set for the jar mounted with the lid. we're going to stamp a couple of those. I'm actually going to stamp 3 just in case I have a problem with that little adorable snowman. I think this is a really cute kit. I think we're going to have fun using it for holidays. Okay, so next we have this cute little snowman. See what I mean? That didn't come out so good. He's got like a double fat bottom there. Try not to push down quite so hard. There we go, much better. Okay, so this snowman has, let's get this out of the way, a most adorable little scarf. Come on. See if it'll open that way. No, it does not want to open that way. So you probably can't see this, but it's got a scarf and it's got a little line to put the red part on his hat. I'm gonna try standing up just to. So you kind of got to get that hat little thing in between those lines. Did I do it? Yes! That's what I was most worried about, and that's what the real red. Oh, let's keep this out for a minute since we've got it out. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the insides. And then we'll just get all our stamping done. Back to the black. And it says, sending a jar full of cheer. I also think this will be really cute if you want to you know, give somebody something in a jar. I think this will make really cute little presents like that. And then this is where, so far everything has been from the newer Jar of Joy, but they didn't have any like separate little things that I wanted to put on here, so I stole the little hearts from the Sweet Jar set, so we could send some little hearts. And that's it for our stamping. So let's go ahead and put this in side. And this is just a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of basic white. That's kind of my go-to for insides. And you could double mount that if you wanted to, but I think it looks good like that. All right, so let's take our little jars and punch them out. I'm actually going to have to do this. It'll be kind of sideways for you guys. And just kind of line them up. And then our plain one. We're really not going to use the lid on this one. All right, so there's our plain one, and there's our one with our little snowman. And I just want to do one more thing for our little snowman here. Just to make him pop a little bit, I took a balmy blue, and yeah, that's a dark one. I think pick a one for the lighter one. And just kind of outline things. It's kind of a fun thing to do when you're just, you know, having a stamp that's a person or an animal or anything like that. And you'll notice that and you can also use a light pool party for this. It does fade a little bit. So don't think that this is looking too dark or anything. It will fade a little bit. But it just helps to make that pop a little bit. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is put these jars on. Oh, I know, we're going to color this one too. Just so it stands out a little bit with our little real red. I mean, obviously you could use a Stampin' Right marker here. You even use watercolor. And that's the dark real red. Okay. So let's first put this little guy on. Down here. And then this guy, same thing. You guys know that when you get to the end like this of your dimensionals, to just go cutting them up all the way around, or you could tear them, but you've got more dimensionals to use. Okay. Dimensional city. Come on. There we go. And this one is pouring out our little snow is what I'm calling it. And these are the itty bitty bouquet mix. And I'm going to start by just putting some individual dots of glue in my little downstairs one. We'll call this the downstairs. And then we're going to take some of these and kind of sprinkle them around and see what sticks. And if it's not seeming to stick where you want it to stick, we have some tweezers to get them. I'm taking out this big one here. We'll save that for the other stuff. See those little teeny dots of glue? Each one of those is gluing more than one of these little bouquet dots. That's just fine. That one seems too big. Get off of there. You can come back later and play. Okay, now we are going to put a ton of glue up here. Basically just smush it into one big giant blob of glue and all the way down here. And then we're going to, I'm going to let it dry for just a second here. While that's doing that, just take our real red and white baker's twine and tie a double bow. Now this is on last chance, and I'm actually going to buy another one because I think this is just so great to use for holiday cards. So notice what I did is just fold that in half, and then we're going to make bow. Come on. A lot of little pieces here that sometimes make it hard to see. There we go. This is going to go on our little top. All right. There we go. Now we got our bow ready. And while we were doing that, this glue got to get a little tacky. So I think that'll be helpful for these little dots. And we are just going to sprinkle a ton on. And let's see where they stick. And then what I did was put some back in here. And I've used this on several other cards, not just these two. There's a lot in this bouquet mix here. There's just a whole lot of stuff. I'm trying to turn the really big ones right side up because I know they'll stick a little bit better. And get a few more down here. And just kind of push them in. This is where it gets a little messy. All right. And I figure if a few of those come off inside the envelope, it'll just make for something more sparkly fun. But when you play with these and you spill them all over like this, you're going to be picking these little bouquet things out of everything for the next few days. So just beware about that. But like I said, we saw cards similar to this where they made something pouring out, and I just thought it was fabulous. So that's why I thought I would use it on my little snowman and make just kind of a fun holiday card. See what I mean about they get everywhere? Here's one just, I don't know if that was stuck on the top or stuck to my finger that got on there, but they get everywhere. All right, and then we'll take our pretty double red and white twine bow and put it on with a little glue dot. Whoops, I'm pulling it out a little bit. Don't be doing that. Okay. Isn't that cute? I just think this little jar of joy that goes with the sweet jar is just so adorable, and I think this is just going to make somebody smile at the holiday time. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the other tutorials. Bye-bye.